Hello, this is Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and many years ago I started using Powerdirector, Cyberlink Powerdirector, and I started out with version 11 at that time, and now I'm up to version 15, and I think that's probably as far as I need to go for the things that I do. But I also, it outgrew, when I did some upgrades, it outgrew the little laptop I was trying to use to do my editing on, and Powerdirector would stop and go and stop and go. So I bit the bullet and bought a computer. It's a low-grade gaming computer, but anyway, it cost me over $1,000, and I'm still paying it off at Best Buy. But anyway, so I got a new computer, and everything worked for a while. And then for some odd reason, and I don't know why, recently I was trying to edit a video that I had just made. I'm trying to get it ready for YouTube. And if you've ever had this problem, you know how frustrating it is. You click start on you're reviewing what you've edited, and you click start, and it goes along, and all of a sudden everything locks up and stops. So you got to wait, and pretty soon it unlocks, and it goes a little further, and it locks. And I just kept running into that. So on that day, I had started in the morning, and I spent the rest of the day going around looking at YouTubes, checking the internet, and just trying to find what causes this to happen. And at the end of the day, I hadn't solved the problem. But I guess sleeping on it overnight, I don't know. But the next morning when I got back at it, it worked. I found some things that worked. So this video is just going to be a list of things that work for your, if you're using Powerdirector. And Powerdirector 15 is what I'm using. So these are the things that, some of the things I learned a long time ago, some of the things I just recently learned, a lot of the things I've learned from Malik at the Powerdirector University. And if you haven't gone there, he's got tons and tons of videos. And I'll put a link at the bottom for his channel. And then also, because I edit videos from my drone, well then I also got some information on how to help, just a little bit what I was looking for, but from Billy Kyle, and he's got a channel. So he's got thousands of subscribers. You probably, if you're a drone person, you probably have already looked at some of his videos. All right, so let's get started. If you want trouble-free editing with Powerdirector 15, these are the things that I did. And I don't know which one worked, but they all helped, okay? If you're not sure of your computer's capabilities, reboot before you ever start working on a project, all right? And so let's say that I just did that. Now we're going to open up Powerdirector. And when we get to Powerdirector, the next thing we want to do is open Task Manager. Now, it's easy for me to open Task Manager because I just right-click on the task line, and you can see it in the list there. You can also type Control-Alt-Delete all at the same time, and it'll come up with a similar menu. So we'll click on Task Manager, and mine doesn't usually come up this way because I've set it different, but if yours comes up like that, then you want to, you can see that Powerdirector's working and my screen recorder's working. So we'll click on that extra details, and once you get there, then you come up to the menu up here at the top and click on details. Now this is everything that's running on the computer. Can you imagine? All that stuff is running, and we'll get down here to PDR, which stands for Powerdirector, I guess. We'll right click on that. Now, when you right-click on it, you get this little menu, and you come down here to Set Priority. And you'll notice that it's got normal priority because it's a regular program. But we're going to go down here, and we're going to click on High Priority. All right? And it says, you sure? We say, yes, we're sure. And now you'll notice if we go clear to the top, well, Powerdirector just jumped up to the top. So, no, it didn't either. Never mind. Forget what I just said. But we've got it running let's make sure, because something didn't look right here. Yep, we got it on highest. Now we'll just go ahead and close Task Manager. All right, so we got that done, and that means that our program is going to get a little more attention from the computer. All right, so now we're in Powerdirector, and the first thing we want to do is open a file. So I'll go up here, click on File and Import, and we might want to import a whole folder, but we'll just do one file for this demo. All right, and this is a file that I recorded. Well, actually, this was one of the files that I was having trouble with. And so we do that, we drag it down into the timeline. Now, if you're not familiar with timeline, you might look up on YouTube and Google Powerdirector University on what the timelines are. But anyway, so this is our top timeline, and this is the video that let's say I want to have it working. So over here on the left side, you'll notice there's other timelines. Well, when Powerdirector runs, like we'll start it going here. I'll just come down here where it's right there. All right, so now when Powerdirector is running this, it's also looking at all these other timelines to see if it needs to do anything there. So we're going to pause it, and we're going to go, did that thing just do that again? Well, we won't worry about it because we know how to fix it. So we're going to go down here, and we're going to uncheck all of these unused timelines, and then Powerdirector won't have to come looking for anything down there. It'll just ignore those other timelines. I think I'm going to turn the audio timeline back on. I don't think we're going to need it, but anyway, a lot of times I use it, so I'll just leave it on. Okay, so now we've got all those undone. Now over here is the settings for the preview. Okay, and this makes a big difference. All right, so now it's in real time, but we're going to go over here, and we can move it down to really low resolution, especially if you're having a lot of trouble. Well, we're just going to put it on normal preview, and you'll notice immediately it gets small. And until I learned how to use this right, I thought, well, I don't want it that small. But if we come up here to the 100%, and we'll just put it on 200%. And now it's back to what we like. Okay, we could even get it bigger if we wanted. But you'll notice the difference here. This is a little less detailed. Notice the choppy edges and stuff. And that's because it doesn't have to reprint all of those pixels every time it goes to the next frame. So that should work pretty good. Okay, now then, the next thing, and it's probably, and by the way, those are the things I learned from Powerdirector University. The next thing that Powerdirector University taught me a long time ago, and I don't know if it still holds true or not, but if you come down here to hardware acceleration, you can play with this. If you turn this on, it might help, or if you turn it off, it might help. And I find I have less trouble if I turn that off, because this is just another program running in the background. So I'm just going to leave it off, but you play with it on your computer. All right, so those are the things that I learned over the years and over the past couple of days that make my Powerdirector run a lot smoother, especially this one where we work on the menu. That's an important one. Okay. Now then, also if you've got camera and you can change the settings on it, there's the H.264, I think is what it is, and H.265. H.265 is a more complicated codec for Powerdirector to use, or any video editor. So if you go with the 264, it will also make your video easier for Powerdirector to use. If it doesn't make any difference, you'll get a little better quality with the 265 because it's a later design. But anyway, that's the things that I learned, and they fixed my Powerdirector, and it's running smooth. And let's just double check, make sure. We'll just let this thing run, and everything's great. Okay, so I hope that this has been helpful. I want to thank you for watching, and God bless.